Well, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could join me for this new project. My name's Johnny and I am your Hillbilly Modeler. The new project that I've decided to start off the new year with is an old kit. Of course, if you've been seeing the channel over time, you know that I do kind of like these older kits. The one I've chosen, and I've been wanting to build this since I got it, is this one right here. And this is the M113 Armored Personnel Carrier in 1/35 scale by Tamiya. And let's see. It says here on the box top that we have realistic figures, fully detailed plastic track. Well, we'll see about that. Faithfully reproduced interior details, and ready to assemble plastic model kit. Now, Tamiya does tell us that modeling skills helpful if under 10 years of age. Hopefully I've gotten above that. Also, cement and paint are not included. And if you like this review and you decide that maybe you want to acquire this kit, it is item number 35040. So, as you can see here on the box, there are also advertisements for other Tamiya kits. And here's the end section here. And let's see, we do have a little diagram right here that might come in helpful for location of our American stars if we choose to build the American version. I think the German version is also in here in decals. We'll find that out. Now, this is an older kit, of course. 1974 is the copyright date on it, and you can check that out if you want more information on it. I think there are 6 different versions of this since its first introduction, and this is the Vietnam version that we're going to be building in this series. So let's jump down to the bench and take a look at it. So here we are on the bench, and just to show you how she's packaged, first of all, I'll just pull the hull out. It has its own little plastic bag, and of course I'm going to open all these up for us later so we can get a good look at everything in here. And this is the interior parts, and it's bagged separately. Also, we have the crew and some soldiers here. I think it's a total of 5 figures. It's separate. Here we have the top of the vehicle, and I believe this is the engine access panel, door, whatever you want to call it. And then we have the rest of the vehicle. These are the road wheels and skirts and ammo or fuel cans, and also some polycaps in there. We do have our decals. We'll open all this up. Our rubber band style tracks. And Tamiya always includes these tech tips. And then we have, if I can get it out of the box, our English instructions, which is the typical fan fold type, and also our instructions that are in Japanese. So for our first sprue, we're going to start off with sprue A. And right here in the corner you can see our 50 caliber machine gun, which is pretty well detailed, especially for a kid of this age. And we also have our road wheels. Really nice detail on the road wheels. The lug nuts look really good. And the tires are well defined with that rim. That'll be easy for painting. And we also have our final drives here. And nice bolt detail on those final drives. Over here is the bumperettes. Goes on the back of the hull of the vehicle. Here's our ammunition tray that our 50 caliber ammo can sets in, the exhaust pipe. These are the final drive covers for the front of the hull. And we also have some fuel cans. Now these fuel cans are hollow on the back side, but at least we don't have to fool with those 2 pieces. I don't know about the detail on the handles there though. It just looks like a single piece of plastic there. Here on our drive sprockets, they are faithfully reproduced. Look really good. Idler wheel, same there. Now the back side of the road wheels, they don't have any detail on them, but you know that's okay because you're not going to see them. Then here on B sprue, we have our side skirts. This is our fording board. It goes on the front of the vehicle. This is the rear drop-down ramp. This is the front armor plate. You can see that they have the little bolt detail and everything. It's nice. Commander's cupola. That's the door to the front. Yes, that's the engine access door. Goes right there. There's some spare track. You can even see where they have the bolt. If I can get the light just right. The bolts that bolt them down to the vehicle itself. Nice detail. There's our tow rope. Shovel. Commander's hatch. And this is the top portion over the engine compartment with the grills already installed. Nice detail there. You can see the mounting bolts there. Look really good. And some pioneering tools and lights. So that's sprue B. So sprue C, this would be the top hatch that goes right here for our infantry soldiers. And you can see all the little detail, the clamps and loops are all molded in. The periscopes are also molded in, if I can get it just right where you can see those. And they're molded in top and bottom. So no clear parts to worry about. If you hate clear parts, and me and clear parts, we really don't get along very well. You can also see on the inside detail, these rods that go back to these latches are for the release for the ramp on the back of the vehicle. So that is that's really nice. That's molded in. Would be more detail, of course, if they were separate, but we have to keep in mind the age of this kit. So that is sprue C. Now for sprue D. Now these are our interior parts, and that comes with our deck right here. For the these are all the floor plates with the large washers that hold them down. That's very realistic, and it has the basket weave style anti-skid tread on them. And right here would be the engine and transmission compartment, along with our steering differential that goes in the front of it. Here's our fan assembly, fuel tank. Now all this is looking really good. Here's our radiator, comes with a radiator. Now these panels here are the ones that separate the engine compartment from the crew compartment. More engine parts, our transfer case. I think this might be the transmission. We have our intake and our engine block. Air cleaner. So these parts look really good. Troop seats over here, right there. Troop seats. And these are the supports, I believe, for the troop seats. And we also have our driver's seat and commander's seat and a jump seat for the crew that operates it. So nice details there. Good look at that instrument panel if you can see the detail on it. The gauges are molded in. Then on the back side, there are some ejector pin marks, and if you are going to display it with the engine bay open, then there are some of those that's going to have to be worked with and cleaned up. But other than that, I don't really see any ejector pin marks, I should say, that are going to be in the way. I hate working on those ejector pin marks. So our next sprue is sprue E, and this is the crew. and our infantry soldiers as well. And if we can get a good look there at the facial detail. Of course, there's always on these old kits that funny mold seam line that goes right around the ears. It's kind of pesky to deal with when you're trying to clean up the figures. And I've also found that regardless of the kit, the way they molded these old ones, when you go to attach the figures together, you may have a small seam there that you need to deal with. But we also have our M16s right there. Fairly good detail on those. And our M60 machine guns right here. There's a couple of bipods for our M60 machine guns and some 30 caliber ammunition cans there too. So, well, let's see. Those might be the 5.56 cans, and these might, I believe those are 50 cal cans. Hard to tell at this scale. Also, we have some backpacks with entrenching tools already installed. And then we've got some ammo pouches, a couple of helmets, and our canteens. Nice detail on that. Not too bad. We also have Sprue P, which is all of our polycaps, which I really like to see these because that allows us to remove those road wheels and paint them and then reinstall them without having any issues. Painting them on the vehicle is a problem, so that's nice. And here's the rubber band tracks. I don't know if we can get a good look at that. These plastics are in whatever this is made out of. they're molded so dark, it's kind of hard to see the detail. See there. Now, one thing I did notice on these is that these are the melt over pins. But on these tracks, those melt-over pins are on the outside. That's different. Usually it's on the other side, but they're right there on the top. Easier to get to. I don't know if we'll use them or not. We'll look at that later. And here's our bathtub-style hull. So the back is already installed, and some of the bracketing and stuff is already present. All of our road wheel arms are installed as well. And this appears to be one of those kits where it may have been optional to motorize it. And that you'll see that in a lot of these old kits. There are holes for the switches and stuff on the bottom. Not a lot to it, and in real life, on these armored personnel carriers, it's not a lot to them. They're just a big aluminum box. So, but that all looks really good, and notable is no real flash or anything on any of these. There's a little bit there on the edge, easy enough to clean up. So, next we have our decals. These are pretty typical Tamiya decals. They are kind of thick. There's no yellowing or anything, so I'm not sure when this was actually manufactured. But let me see. Cool thing here is that we have all these data plates. And these will go in around the driver position. And various little access points throughout the vehicle. Danger danger monoxide gas. See, even with my reading glasses, I can't read. Secure this panel before starting engine. I know exactly where that goes. So yeah, we have the German sections too, and the American stars. So if you wanted to build Bundeswehr M113, you can do that. with these decals. Now, of course, you can build any configuration you want if you print your own decals or buy aftermarket decals. So these do look really nice. They are kind of thick, though, because that's just the way Tamiya does them. And if you've built a Tamiya kit before, you probably already know that. Now, Tamiya does throw in some tech tips, and they have the recommended tools, and they also give you tips on what to do for assembly and for parts cleanup and what have you there. Even how to address cutting the parts off. So yeah, it's always nice to know. Next up is our instructions, and they do give us quite a bit of history. There's a lot of history written up on this vehicle, and it even continues over onto the back page. And if you like reading about that, I really like that when they put that in there. So we'll just open this up, and here is we've got a parts list, and it's labeled A, B, C, D, corresponding to our sprue maps. So if you want to know what a part is called, they actually tell you what it is. D27 is the passenger seat, and you can go to D and find 27. If I can find 27. Anyway, you get the point. And then starting off in the instructions, you can see we do the final drives and the engine and installation of engine transmission, transfer case, and the pulleys and belts and stuff on the front, troop seats attached to the deck. They even give us these little insert pictures here, and also there are instructions through here that you can read to help you with the assembly. Now, this piece right here, I want to point this out because here in step 5, this bar is also the track that the commander's seat slides up and down on. And as we'll see later on, this is also a latch point to hold the top of the vehicle on so that you can remove that and show the interior. Here with the tracks, you can see that they tell us how to melt those pins over, and then the continuation of assembling the interior parts and the hull. And here's that piece that I was talking about in step 5. The deck floor plates and everything go over top of that, and then continuation of building up the engine compartment. They also show us a picture right here of all of our decals, so that's really nice. Commander's cupola. This is the engine deck. The underside of it, where your air cleaner and your fan assembly with the radiator and all that goes. And the top of the compartment. Here is where they show us how it latches when we go to install the top on the vehicle. So you do not have to glue that on. That way you'll have access to the interior, and you'll be able to display it with the top off if you like. And then, of course, just finishing up the vehicle, side skirts, all that. Very nice. And then, of course, we have our assembly and painting of our crew, and with all the paint call-outs in Tamiya colors. We also have instructions on applying our decals, and this would be the German version. Here is an American version and another American version. So we have one for the West German Army and 2 for the U.S. Army. Very nice. And on the back is just some other Tamiya kits, along with the rest of that history. So So back to these tracks. Now, if you don't have any other option, these would probably be good enough. However, they do lack a little bit of detail, and they are rubber band tracks from 1974. So there you go. And I don't normally do this, but I did find some tracks for the M113 that happen to be AFV Club. And I'm hoping that these are going to fit our Tamiya kit. The big difference being is that we're going to have to measure for the drive sprockets and make sure that they would actually work. And if you look here on the back, these just snap together. So I'm not sure how sturdy they're going to be, but I think we're going to give these a try if they'll fit our drive sprockets. And they come individually wrapped up here. Let's go ahead and cut this open and see what we got. Get that plastic out of the way there. So it looks like, yep, those are all identical sprues. Now these are black in color, so they're going to be hard to see. But if I can get the light angled just right, you'll be able to pick out the detail. In person, of course, you can actually see the detail on these rubber pads. Now these rubber pads were bolted on with a single stud in the center. And if you flip it over, you can see we have our single stud that is right in the center of each of the track shoes. So that's nice. And the location of our sprue gates are in such a place that they should be relatively easy for us to trim those off nice and flush. Probably won't even have to sand that. I don't know. With a good pair of sprue cutters, we should be able to get that cut off. So the only thing that we're really worried about is going to be the holes. They appear to be much smaller on the AFV Club. So, yeah, there you go. You can see better right there than they are in the rubber band tracks. But the rubber band tracks are, I think they're the same width. They are, same width. So, if we can use these, we will. Might require a little bit of, a little bit of work with our drive sprockets to get these to work, but I don't think it's going to be a big issue. So, coincidentally, I don't like spending a lot of money on tracks. That's just me. You know, I can't see myself spending $60 for metal tracks. I just have a hard time doing that, especially if I'm building a $25 model. So, but these, I got them on eBay, and total to the door was like 19 bucks. So that's good. Seems to be a lot of these available out there, so you shouldn't have a problem finding these. And I think we're going to try these on this on our M113 Armored Personnel Carrier. All right, so that's what we have in the box, along with the aftermarket tracks to add on from AFV Club. I think this is going to be a really good build. I think we're going to enjoy this. Also, just want to take this opportunity to thank all of my subscribers. It's because of you guys that I keep making these videos. And if you keep watching, there'll be more to come. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. That is, if I have earned that. And be looking for more videos that will be coming up soon. Definitely this build and many more. So you guys stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.